judging by the title, you already know what I'm going to talk about. And you might be wondering, didn't you say you didn't play video games, or that you tried to like cut them out of your life? And yes, I did. I did indeed say that. But that doesn't mean that I don't get the cravings to play video games. And today I wanted to experiment with that. And I decided to play a game that I've always wanted to play, but I never really had the chance to play. So during Christmas Day, I bought it for around $5 to $6 on my Xbox. Okay, no, don't start throwing shade. Oh, PS4 is better, or start like making claims like that. Whatever you like to play on is fine. Okay, so off topic. The main idea was that, okay, I bought the game, right? And I decided that, since I already bought this game, and even though I get this feeling that I shouldn't play video games, I decided that, it was the right time. It was the middle of the day. I already gotten through my workout, essentially through the hard part, I guess, of the day. And I decided I wanted to play like some video games, because I felt that doing it in the middle of the day, like just getting it over with in the middle of the day, would be the best option, because doing it in the morning already kind of sets you up for failure. You get what I mean? Like it already puts you in a comfortable like position before you've already done any hard work, and it makes you feel kind of like, oh, I just kind of want to go play the game again. And in the evening, doing it late at night puts your sleep in a risk, because it makes your eyes more like, it gives your eyes that kind of like itchy burning sensation, and it keeps you up at night, because you were mostly on a screen for most of your day, and that negatively impacts your sleep, and I don't want to be negatively impacted like that. So I felt that slotting it in through the middle of my day would be the best option with the least, I guess, repercussions. So I did that, and for the most part, I enjoyed the game. If you're wondering what the game was, it was Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. It's a classic game. And I like playing more like classic games, because it gives me kind of like a nostalgic effect, even if I haven't really played the game before. But it reminds me more of an era that I wasn't in. I felt okay, at first. Like I was enjoying the plot of the story, how it was going, and when I started to get more into like the RPG elements, like, okay, pick a class, pick your attributes and stuff like that, pick how your character wants to look. It was almost like I was losing myself into this world and disassociating from my current world, which is my real life. And that's what I struggled with. That's what I genuinely struggled with before I got on self-improvement, was that I dissociated so hard into these virtual worlds that I hated associating again with real life, because I was a loser, honestly. I was a loser, and I hated coming back to the real world, and I was always thinking of like playing video games where I was the badass, I had all the skills, and I was the fucking badass fucking X-Forces fucking expert that fucking snipes people from 600 meters away or something. And I felt cool as fuck doing that shit. But at the same time, it almost felt like a job, because I had to, I had to keep the grind going in the game. And that really hurt the real life aspect of me, because it felt like I was just living my video game, It didn't feel like I was living real life. It didn't feel like I was experiencing the things that I was supposed to be experiencing, like intimacy, like gaining a passion for a skill. Because in actuality, I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't leveling up a skill in real life. I wasn't like talking to, people or women. I mean, I didn't talk to my guy friends as much, and I almost faked kind of my own behavior just to be around them, which also impacted me negatively because I was essentially hurting my own personality and my own respect of myself, because I was lowering myself to this kind of standard that I didn't want to have for myself. And video games was kind of like the complete opposite of that. I can go into this world, become immersed, and I can become this person that I want to be, not who I am right now. So back on the topic of what I felt when I was playing the game. And yeah, I had some fun. Honestly, I messed around a little bit, I guess. I felt that I had a pretty decent amount of fun, but I also felt like I could have gotten that from something else while leveling up a skill. So I felt that I could have been doing something better, and that really impacted my view of it. For example, I've been picking up a new hobby of painting, and I really like painting. I did my first painting. Maybe I'll show like a photo of it on here. I did my first painting, and it actually came out pretty nice, in my opinion. This is my first painting without any classes, and I really liked doing it, even though it might have come out like shitty, like for like an actual painter. I'm not at that level yet. I've genuinely enjoyed painting it, and not only was I entertained by it, I was also leveling up a skill that might lead up to a potential job, and that makes me feel very like fulfilled in a way, because I was doing something that would benefit the future version of myself, not playing video games. Because after I was done with my session of playing Dragon's Dogma, I was almost kind of like in a haze. I don't know. I came out of my house and everything seemed like brighter. I didn't I didn't dim down my lights or anything. I played like very attentive. And once I kind of disconnected myself from that virtual world, I kind of almost felt like I was in a haze, that I felt kind of like dizzy. I don't know, not dizzy, but like I felt that I was almost disconnecting from real life, and I reconnected back into it. And it felt so almost like regretful that I played instead, when I could have been doing something more productive. And that might be due to my own internal like personality that I've built for myself, like this personality that you should always be productive. And I like that about myself, and I want to keep that. I don't want to change that. It kind of sucks, honestly, because I really liked video games. But that also came from the fact that video games are a way to achieve things in an easier way. Because in real life, there's a greater cost to it. When for example, you and your friend are playing let's say a more competitive game, and let's say you're trying to practice for trying to PvP with other players. You're most likely prone to spend hours on that game, grinding, playing hours, learning all the moves, grinding for maybe like the game's currency. to try to get the most money so you can get more more things to boost your character. And when it comes to that competition, it emulates a lot of that aspect that we have in our natural world, the competition, because it's a natural thing, and it's a great motivator for real life scenarios, because it's a thing that's been around in real life for thousands of years, competition. But when you take it in video game essence, you're not really achieving anything. You're just spending time on a screen. You're not leveling up your real life self, and that's the character that matters most. Not this version of you that you created on your Xbox, on your PS4, on your PC, but your most important playable character is yourself. You always have to prioritize that character, no matter the circumstances. So I guess, hopefully that explains what I felt. So let me summarize the point of this video. You shouldn't dive so deep into these video games. You shouldn't disassociate from your real life character. Because when you start doing that, you realize you can't stop playing real life. It's the game. It's the game that you're playing that you can't stop playing. It's the grind. It's the game you have to play, because it's the world you were really born into, not like Far Cry, not any other game. You have to prioritize. You have to prioritize your real life character before any other game, before any other thing, before any other good thing. You have to prioritize yourself so that the good things can come in real life. Because video games, however good they are, however good they've treated your childhood and brought you serious friendships and memories that you have with you, that are there, that are strong, that bring you happiness. You always got to remind yourself that the most important character is yourself, and you cannot let yourself be drawn into these worlds to the point that a fictional character matters more to you than yourself. And you have to realize that in the moment. You have to realize that in the moment when you're starting to prioritize the virtual world more than the real world. And you can feel it. You can feel it. It's like a thing that's telling you, it's knocking at your soul, telling you that, hey, your mom's calling you, you have an important task to do, but you haven't done it yet. And you kind of feel like a little weight added onto you, but you still kind of like keep playing because, I'm just going to enjoy myself. And you're using that pleasure to disguise the weight added onto you. But I understand there's like a resistance attached to that, because when you know you have to do something, but it's uncomfortable to do it, it's boring, but it's essential, there's always a form of resistance attached to it. By that I mean that it costs you to do it. It costs you to do it. You have to force yourself out of bed. You have to force yourself out of your seat. And it's not something you want to do in the moment. But it's what's called delayed gratification. Because afterwards, when you're done washing the dishes, when you're done making your bed, when you're done dusting off your table, cleaning all the little dust particles, when you're done mopping the floor, you feel satisfied. You feel satisfied because you know that you put in that work and you push through that resistance. And at the end of the day, that's what you have to overcome, that resistance. That's what we all are facing, that resistance to do the right thing. So my message for today is do the right thing and overcome your resistances. And do that thing that you don't want to do, but you know you have to do. That's my message. Bye. Love you. Good night.